In most spiritual traditions, reincarnation is described as an endless loop: birth, death, and rebirth. In Hinduism and Buddhism, this is known as Samsara, the wheel of existence. The goal, according to these traditions, is to reach moksha, liberation from the cycle of death and rebirth. But what is Samsara? Isn't it just a spiritual concept? What if it's actually a time loop in the quantum field? Quantum physics has already revealed that time is not linear. In fact, time is intimately connected to gravity and motion. Einstein's theory of general relativity shows that time slows down for objects moving at high speed or near massive gravitational bodies. This distortion of time suggests that time is not fixed. It can bend, stretch, and collapse. If time is malleable, then what is preventing us from escaping it? The answer may lie in the cyclical nature of time. Ancient concept of time spiraling rather than moving in a straight line is strikingly similar to how the universe operates at a quantum level. Stars are born, die, and rebirth. Galaxies collapse and reemerge, and human souls trapped in the same time spiral reincarnate over and over again. But what if there is a way to break the spiral? In 2012, Nobel laureate Frank Wizek proposed an existence of time crystals, a new phase of matter that doesn't just repeat in structure in space, but in time. Unlike regular crystals, time crystals oscillate perpetually without using energy, defying the natural law of thermodynamics. In 2021, scientists successfully created time crystals in a lab. They discovered that these crystals exist in a constant loop of time where they repeat their state endlessly without decay or loss of energy. This is where it gets interesting. If time crystals can exist in an internal escalation, a loop in time, doesn't that mirror the concept of reincarnation? The same patterns happening over and over without energy loss is hauntingly similar to the patterns of birth, death, and rebirth. But there is one key difference. Time crystals do not age. They exist in a perpetual now, untouched by entropy, decay, or time itself. This means time crystals have figured out something that we have not: how to break free from the entropic force of time. If we can align our consciousness with this energy, we might be able to break the cycle of reincarnation as well. To understand how we can use time crystals to break from reincarnation, we need to understand zero-point field. In quantum mechanics, zero-point energy is the energy that exists even in a vacuum, the lowest possible energy state of quantum system. In other words, even in absolute nothingness, there is still energy present. This energy is the very foundation of the universe, the fabric of reality itself. What's fascinating is that time crystals have been shown to tap into zero-point energy, meaning they operate outside of traditional time. They do not lose energy. They do not decay. They do not age. Now imagine what this means for consciousness. If time crystals can exist outside the boundaries of linear time, then consciousness, which is inherently quantum in nature, could theoretically sync itself with the same quantum state and become bound from time as well. This means no death, no reincarnation, no aging. Consciousness would simply exist in an internal unbroken presence. In many ways, this is what ancient mystics refer to as immortality. Not a physical body that never dies, but a consciousness freed from the spirals of reincarnation. Now, here's where it gets truly mind-bending. If time crystals are showing us that time is not fixed, and if zero-point energy exists beyond the confines of time, what does that mean for the soul's journey through reincarnation? It means that reincarnation itself may simply be a product of being trapped in linear time. The reason we keep returning to Earth lifetime after lifetime is because our consciousness is anchored in time's spiral. Just like how a clock hand endlessly loops around a clock's face, our consciousness loops throughout lifetimes over and over again, trapped in time. But time crystals suggest that time can be bypassed, and if time can be bypassed, so can reincarnation. The key to learning how to access the same quantum field that time crystals tap into, zero-point energy. If reincarnation is merely a byproduct of being caught in linear time, then immortality becomes a matter of stepping outside of time, just like time crystals do. This is not hypothetical. Time crystals have already demonstrated that energy can exist without decay outside of linear time. Now the question is, can human consciousness do the same? The answer may lie in the science of zero-point energy. In quantum vacuum, this source of zero-point energy exists outside of time. If consciousness can directly interfere with this field, it could bypass the cyclical nature of time and reincarnation. Consciousness would simply exist in a perpetual now. No birth, no death, no rebirth. This is precisely what ancient mystics have always hinted at. The kingdom of heaven is not a place, it's a state of being beyond time. Enlightenment is not knowledge, it is a liberation from time. Immortality is not physical body. It is consciousness unbound by the will of reincarnation. Time crystals prove this is possible. Quantum mechanics show us it is scientifically plausible, and zero-point energy may be the key to accessing it. If we continue along our current trajectory, we will continue to die, reincarnate, forget, and repeat the endless cycle. But if we understand how to operate time at a quantum level, and if we learn how to consciously interface with zero-point energy, we may discover how to step outside of the spiral of time. This would mean no death, no incarnation, no forgetting. Consciousness free from time would experience eternal immortality. And this may not just be a spiritual concept. The discovery of time crystals and harnessing zero-point energy may hold the scientific key to achieving immortality, and ancient mystics have always talked about for millennia. We are staying at the edge of a revolution. The key of escaping reincarnation is not just a physical immortality, it's learning how to step outside of time itself. And that, perhaps, is the final secret. Reincarnation exists only because we are still trapped in time. But time crystals show us that time can be escaped. And if time can be escaped, so can death. Liberation, that of the consciousness from time itself. This is Makalesi. Thanks for listening. Peace.